to Movie Review Mom. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. I missed you. And if you're brand new to my YouTube channel, yay, I'm so glad you're here. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. So the specific film I'm reviewing today is called Samaritan. I know it's been out for a minute or two. I was out of the country, and then when I came back, my computer crashed. So it's been taking me a while to get to this movie. So thanks for sticking with me. This action fantasy movie is now available exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. The movie is rated PG-13 and is an hour and 42 minutes. My Movie Review Mom grade is a B. Let me tell you why. So stick around. Don't click off to a different channel. Keep watching. All right, so I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are somewhat similar that I think you might also like. Okay, ready? Let's dive in. In a nutshell, a young boy learns that a superhero who was thought to have gone missing after an epic battle 20 years ago may in fact still be alive. The movie was directed by Julius Avery, written by Bragi F. Shute. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that name correctly, and stars Sylvester Stallone. So here's the list of things that I really liked about the movie. First of all, who doesn't love Sylvester Stallone? I love the idea of him as an aging superhero. He does a great job and looks fantastic. He's moving a little slow, but he plays an aging superhero. And in my book, he is an aging superhero. What an epic career he has had. Javon Wana Walton stars as the young boy who pulls Samaritan out of retirement. Now, don't let his innocent face fool you. In real life, he is a fierce five-time Georgia State boxing champion and four-time USA boxing Southeast regional champion. He is the youngest athlete ever to represent the brand Under Armour. That's impressive. There is a sweet chemistry between Stallone and Walton, and I really enjoyed them together. The opening credits of this movie look and feel kind of like an old-fashioned comic book, maybe a 1980s superhero movie. I thought it was well done and put me in the mood for superhero magic. Now, it's not Marvel magic for sure, but it's still in that genre. I got a kick out of reading the boy's list of people he thought might be Samaritan because he was convinced Samaritan was still alive. One of the notes that he wrote to himself on this piece of paper said, "Pizza delivery guy, ran really fast." So I thought that was really cute. There is a tasty twist that adds surprising depth to the movie that I really appreciated. Now, all that being said, there were a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better. For example, take back what is yours by stealing from others. What? That's actually what one of the bad guys says. That's one of the big things that's wrong with society today. People think that they're entitled to what others have worked very hard for with no thought of how their actions might affect others. Now, of course, that's the mantra of the bad guys in this movie, but I'm seeing this attitude in this movie more and more in everyday life. And I hope that people don't watch this movie and go, yeah. There are plenty of action sequences, although none of them are super memorable. Some of the CGI isn't very good, and it's not entirely clear what Samaritan's or his brother's superpowers were or are. Sometimes he can do amazing things, sometimes not so much, but there are some jokes about how Samaritan will say, well, I used to be able to do this, but now I can only do that because of his age. And so I appreciated that. So question, does anybody want an origin story of Samaritan and his brother? You know, because Stallone is getting older, they would obviously have to use somebody younger or do some CGI work on the face. I don't know. Maybe it would be interesting. Maybe they could learn from some of their mistakes and come up with a really great movie. I don't know. All right, let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, there's profanity spoken by adults and kids, including an F-bomb. You're allowed an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. In fact, you're allowed 2 of them, but I hate it when kids drop F-bombs. Come on, they're kids. And I know kids talk like that nowadays. That makes me sound like I'm 100 years old. These kids nowadays, you know what I mean. Anyway, I just don't like that. Kids steal. We see a shirtless man from the back with scars all over him. And yes, that is Sylvester Stallone. We get to see his shirtless back of his body. There's bullying. A bad guy encourages others to loot and commit violent acts. There's violence and destruction. Now, some of the themes that are done very well are physical and emotional scars, being relevant, helping the innocent, service to others, aging, fear and courage, change, and reputation. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines just to kind of give you a taste for the dialogue and some of the script writing skills or lack thereof in movies. And so they're all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I didn't write down any funny lines. There are some, nothing made me really laugh out loud though, but there are some interesting lines. I'll share some of them with you right now. One is spoken by Cyrus. He's played by Pilu Aspak. And he says, it's not always if you hurt, but who you hurt. Now, technically, that's poor grammar. It should be whom you hurt. But hey, these, guys are not English professors like I am. I actually am. Anyway, another sentence that I thought was interesting was spoken by Sam Cleary, who's played by Javon Wana Walton. And he says, the decisions you make add up, which is absolutely true. And there is an element of choices and consequences in this movie too. And I think oftentimes people feel like, hey, I'm going to make choices that serve me, and they don't really consider the consequences either for themselves or even acknowledge that there are consequences that affect other people. And I think that's a really important lesson for not only children to learn, but adults. Another theme of the movie is fear and having courage. And so Samaritan, played by Sylvester Stallone, says fear, that's natural, as he's trying to teach this young kid that it's okay to be scared. Courage is taking action in the face of fear. And that's a really powerful quality to acquire. All right, so that before we go, let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. The first one is called Super, filmed in 2011, and it's kind of a comic take on superhero wannabes. Another one is called Unbreakable, and that is actually part of a trilogy. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it's very, very good. So anyway, check that one out. And then the third one is called Mystery Men, and it's about a bunch of superhero wannabes. It's a comedy. It's an older one. My kids and I used to get the biggest kick out of it. And it's sort of a tribute, a comical tribute to superheroes. Now, this movie with Sylvester Stallone is not a comedy. There are some humorous moments, but anyway, if you're in the superhero mood, you might want to check it out. It's pretty goofy and just funny and has some great celebrities in it. Okay, that's it for my review. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I really appreciate your support. Be sure and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie if you've seen it, or if you think you will or won't see it, and what your expectations are. I try to include some content without being spoilers, just so you can manage your expectations, because sometimes just having certain expectations can make or break whether or not you do enjoy a movie, right? All right. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.